about Beau DeMayo. So, with all the drama that's going on with Beau DeMayo and the whole X-Men thing, we could put that behind us. He went and on OnlyFans and told what was going on with the whole situation. But now he's spilling tea about this whole situation going on with his Blade script that he was working on. Because remember, at one point, he was one of the writers that was working on a Blade draft. And we still waiting on this damn movie to come out. I don't know what's going on. But from what I've heard, that Kevin Feige has finally settled on a script idea or whatever the case is that he likes, and they're working on it. I don't know how far they got in the script. I don't know if it's done. I haven't heard anything, but I do have this tea about Beau DeMayo, and I have to say, his idea, I like it. But I also feel that there's parts of this idea that I said this was the direction they should go into when I first started hearing rumors about a Blade reboot. But anyway, I will give you my thoughts on it, but let's get into what in a second, but let's get on what he said. So Beau DeMayo, former showrunner of the Disney Plus animated series X-Men 97, is spilling tea on the script he worked on for Marvel Studios' troubled Blade reboot. Now, shout out to Dark Horizons for this, because I also happen to see this floating online. So it said Blade had been in development for years and has seen a half dozen writers come and go, including the likes of Michael Green, who was behind Logan, Nick Pizzolatto, who was behind True Detective, Stacey Osei Kofer, who was behind HBO's Watchmen, and Michael Starbury, the inevitable defeat of Mr. and Pete. Oh, I remember that. At last report, Eric Pearson is penning the latest draft, and the studio seems to have finally come up with a script they're happy with. For a while there, though, they appeared to be floundering. Now, in new postings on Twitter, DeMayo confirms that that's the case, and says he's wondered why it has been so difficult for the studio to come up with a compelling premise. So he basically said from his idea that he was working, he said, take a John Wick movie, give Mobster's fangs, swap Keanu for Ali, hand him a sword, not a daughter who makes him fret over swinging the hero's name. Wick cost $20 million to make and $10 million for a vampire dog hole magic VFX. You have a $30 to $40 million Marvel movie. I don't get why it's been so hard. Studio's broken. He also adds that in the 3 months on the project, he wrote 3 drafts and a dozen outlines for it. He also said he did a deep dive on Twitter going into the best ideas he came up with and said, my favorite was the raid style treatment where Blade finds himself defending a rundown tenement of humans for Varney's vamp hordes until daylight. Well, here's the thing. I actually like that idea because I was like, you know what? That kind of reminds me of like The Raid, a little bit of what was the other movie? Dread, I'm still pissed off to this day that movie flopped at the box office because that kind of came out around the same time as The Raid. It was coincidental that, the story surrounding that or the plot, but Carl Urban's Dread was such a good freaking movie, and I'm so mad to this day we have not gotten a sequel. That's one of my favorite action films, and I revisit that movie literally like every year. Speaking of which, I might actually end up watching it this week. And I love Lena Headey as Mama. But it also kind of was like, you know what? It reminds me of like Wreck. I'm not doing Quarantine because Quarantine basically was a shot-by-shot remake of Wreck, the Spanish movie where it was like the people were stuck inside the apartment complex and it was like a zombie or whatever they had locked up and it bit somebody and then all hell broke loose. Like I kind of like that idea. Now, he also said that it took place over one night. Blade learns from Tenement Jericho Drum that Varney's attacking because the female tenant who Blade sort of fancies has been magically impregnated with Lilith by tenants who are secretly Darkhold cultists. Think 30 Days a Night meets Rosemary's Baby. Now, here's the thing. There was one thing I feel like, yeah, with this film, I would have loved, like, keep it simple. Blade coming to pay a visit to some, he's out killing vampires, whatever. He comes to visit a girl that he fancies in a building. He's got his gear and all the other stuff, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and he's trapped in the building, and he's trying to fight his way, till daylight, trying to take out all these vampires. That would have been perfect, and then also having some of the tenements of the building basically helping him battle who he needs to battle. Some gonna survive, some may not, but that what makes the franchise be able to be cool or whatever. And I do feel like they should have kept it simple. You could definitely make a Blade movie on a $40 to $50 million budget, especially because technology has come such a long way from the original movie. If you're gonna shoot up vampires and then basically have them turn to dust, the effects and stuff now is so cool. You really don't have to spend a whole lot of money on, though that type of effect. You really don't need a whole lot. Just ground it Keep it simple, and then as the sequels progress, then you can get a little more complex with the story and take a deeper dive or whatever. But I feel like bring the original movie, keep it simple, and that sort of thing. So I like the idea. The idea I don't like is the Darkhold one with the Rosemary's Baby type of twist. I don't like the whole, supernatural baby thingy. We've seen that a million times. I just don't like that angle. But if you would have kept it simple in regards of like, a vampire hunter killing vampires in a tenement building and then trying to basically, it's just like a one night situation, like very much 30 Days a Night. I think that concept would have been cool and make the vampires extremely vicious, very much like the 30 Days a Night vampires, because we haven't really gotten any good vampires on screen, in my opinion. Or maybe if y'all can think of some that are far more vicious than the vampires that we saw in 30 Days a Night, definitely let me know down in the comments. But so far, those type of vampires have always been my all-time favorite. I'm not even gonna bring up Twilight because you know what that gave. And then True Blood was cute or whatever, but it got a little stale after like season 3-ish. And then as it was going on, it sort of I like the first 2 seasons. Once it started getting around season 3 and then beyond, it got ridiculous. But I love the first 2 seasons of True Blood. Vampire Diaries, you already know that what that gave. That's CW. So I don't like when my vampires are just like cute, cuddly little Furbies. Like I don't need Gizmo with vampires. Like I don't need that. I don't need cute and fuzzy. I need vicious and dangerous and scary and all that other stuff. So I really hope that they get it together. Now, regardless of the story, like I said, I liked the idea behind this. And so far we have no idea what if Mahershala Ali is still a part of this franchise. I hope he is. But look, he ain't getting any younger. And I know we've been talking about Wesley Snipes and everything, and him coming back and giving him an old man Logan style send off. Because look, after Blade Trinity, I do feel like we need to give him one more go at Blade and then send him off, and then we could do a whole new vampire situation. But I was thinking about this. If Mahershala Ali is like, okay, I'm sick and tired of this BS, y'all still stringing me along. I love the. Oh yeah, and another thing I did say before I get to who I think should replace Mahershala, I've been saying for the longest, with the way that action movies have been now, The Raid is like one of my all-time favorite movies. That and the sequel. I love the first 2 Raid movies. I wish we were still getting a third one, but we not. I don't know what's going on with that. But I love the original Raid. I love the sequel. And then I said on top of that, the whole John Wick. So I always said, like, y'all need to incorporate that fight style. It's very vicious. It's brutal. It's animalistic. It's just like, pick up whatever you can and just fuck everybody up. That's my type of fights. Type of stuff. Like I love Indonesian style martial arts, the Salat and all that other mess. I like, well, not mess, you know what I mean. And I love I love Blade. Not Blade. Of course I love Blade. I love John Wick. I'm still waiting on this ballerina trailer, which Ana de Armas said that she's really proud of this film, and she said the trailer's gonna be coming out very soon. She did an interview with Sydney Sweeney, and they were asking her about the movie. I think they're in a movie together. I'm not sure, but that would be the only reason why I would see those 2 ladies together. But she's talking about that she's excited for everybody to see this new film, and I'm definitely looking forward to Ballerina because I love me some Ana de Armas. She was the best part of that last James Bond movie. So to wrap this up, they said that, Mahershala and Mia Goth are still attached. I know Mahershala is currently working on the new Jurassic World movie. I don't know what Mia Goth is up to. I do know that Maxine is on, you can rent it or buy it over on Prime Video. So I don't know what she's up. I don't know if she's acting or working on a movie or whatever. We don't have a new director. They said that locations in Mexico and the UK and Atlanta are expected to be utilized for the shoot. So he's gonna be traveling. Blade gonna be moving around, and I do think $40 to $60 million sounds like a reasonable price. The problem with Marvel, y'all think that every budget needs to be $200 million. We don't need a big balloon budget for certain films. There's certain movies you can make for cheap and still give quality. We've seen a lot of quality films that look expensive as hell that have come out that you don't need to spend a whole lot of money on. I'm trying to think. What was Alien Romulus. I heard that movie cost $80 million to make. Look how expensive that film looks. Fede Alvarez really knew how to, pinch every damn penny. That movie looks like it was at least a $200 million budget. It was $80 million. Also, the director of The Creator, Gareth Edwards, movie looked phenomenal, beautifully shot. Cheap film. I believe that was like a $60 million budget. So you don't really need to spend a whole lot of money to make a movie look good. Even what was the movie that just came out? Civil War. That I think that's now on HBO Max. That movie wasn't expensive to make. It looks expensive. So to wrap this story up, my choice, if Mahershala Ali decided to step down and y'all need to pick somebody, I don't know if you saw this movie on Netflix called Rebel Ridge, but Aaron Pierre, who is that? Number one, I was like, okay, first of all, he has such a beautifully chiseled face. The eyes was eyesing. The eyes was eyeing. He has beautiful eyes. I don't know if they were like green or hazel. It was giving Vanessa Williams tease, but it's like I was like, he'd make a perfect Blade. He's very good looking, and he was a standout actor. Even though the film wasn't perfect, it was very entertaining. And I think like he's the next big thing that we need to be looking out for in regards to like the whole action space. And he definitely was throwing it down when it came to the action sequences that he was doing in that movie. So if anything goes and happens and y'all and Mahershala Ali decide to step down tomorrow, I say Aaron Pierre, you need to give him a call and get him up there to be the next Blade. So I say all this to say, what do you think of this story? Do you actually like this angle that he was taking, that Beau DeMayo was taking? I like the whole, contained in one setting situation and just building up on these characters and all the other stuff. Shit, maybe I need to write that damn script and turn it into my own little thing. Whatever your thoughts are, and just give it a whole new kind of character. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below.